Oh, I forgot to tweet. Dang
We're
it.
about to go live.
Well, we're about to go live. In fact, I think we're probably live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dice Camera Action. Yeah, the show about the Waffle Crew and friends.
I'm a friend.
Yep. And I'd like to welcome Rachel into our group for today, and we'll be introducing her character shortly. But when we last left the Waffle Crew, you had just, well, I use the term lightly, had scared off the big red dragon Klauth, who took a considerable amount of damage last week from a variety of sources, thwarting his bid to steal the Ring of Winter. But when all seemed like it might work out, a group of frost giants showed up. A group of frost giants.
It is very scary.
Yes.
No worries. I got too
And
scared.
reoriented the whole world. And these frost giants, 3 of them came to challenge the dragon for the ring. And when all was said and done, the leader of the frost giants, this hulking female frost giantess, now managed to get to the ring in her clutches. Paulton had managed to keep the ring on the move by putting it on the hand of his severed crawling claw, and had it basically running around the battlefield all of last week, being as
Best
elusive as
plan
possible.
ever.
It was a really good plan, and it worked out really well. The frost giant now has it in his clutches, but Paulton appeared right at her feet, right behind her actually, at the end of last week's session. She doesn't even know he's there yet. And a fireball just went off in the general vicinity, so everything around her and Paulton is kind of fuming and billowing smoke at the moment. The rest of the Waffle Crew, realizing that Paulton had abandoned them to get his ring back, have now abandoned their plan to head deeper into the ruined palace of Omu and are rushing back out to help him. So, since we haven't technically dropped out of initiative, it is now. Oh, and Bag of Nails is gone. He took the Acquisitions Inc. airship and flew away. So, lol.
Respects.
Yes.
Fun.
Yes. So let us start with Paulton. Paulton, I would like you to make a perception check to start off this game.
Okay. That's
Shut
yup.
What?
Yup.
No.
Yup.
Okay.
What is it? What do I see? What do I smell?
You see that
Everything.
not only is the giantess so distracted by the fact that she has your hand and its ring in her clutches at last, after what must be an absolutely hellish journey for her, from the frigid, frozen seas of the north all the way down to the humid, hot, searing, hellish jungles of Chult. Thousands upon thousands of sailing miles for her, crossing through jungles, which must have just been a hell in and of itself. Finally, her quest is at an end. She has the device that she wants. What she has failed to notice, and what you have noticed, is that coming out of the burnt jungle all around her, kind of enclosing her in a ring, are more of these small little vegetable people that you saw jumping on the dragon and fighting the dragon. No one of them stands more than about 3 feet tall, and it just looks like a bipedal mass of vegetable matter with a little sort of top knot and little yellow beady eyes sticking out through its husky corn husk head. And they're all clutching spears, and they're sort of narrowing the circle around her and you. They don't seem to threaten you. They seem to be threatening toward her.
Cool.
What would you like to do?
I'm going to go invisible,
Okay.
and then what do I have left?
Turning invisible is an action for you, so you have movement.
Mm-hmm.
You have movement left, and a bonus action if you want to use that. Like your, I believe your is your inspiration a bonus action or action? I can never remember.
That would be a inspiration of me.
Boom. Bonus action. Yeah. So you could do something like that in addition to your movement.
Okay, I'm going to. Could I try and get the ring back at this point, or does it look like it's too hard to get to?
It's too hard because she's basically got in her big honkin' giant fist, her blue fist, your hand with the ring on its finger. So you can't even see the ring right now. It's just sort of in her fist.
Okay, then I guess I'll do my bardic inspiration on her if I could. Good.
It occurs to me, last week you asked a question, can you trigger the ring remotely because it's on your hand, it's on your severed hand?
Yes.
And I said yes. And I think it still has a charge, does it not?
It does.
Okay.
Is that a bonus action or an action?
Actually, it would be an action, unless you...
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't really do much with that. Never mind.
That's fine. Then I'm gonna, as my bonus action, I'll just give these little veggie guys some inspiration.
Okay.
If I can, just be like, you know what? Go get them, guys.
All right, when you do that and you offer some inspiring words of encouragement to these little creatures, you can target one of them specifically to gain the benefits of your bardic inspiration if you want. And you do notice that one of them is a little bit taller than the others, and he's wearing a boot on his head.
Does this boot strike me as, yeah, that guy's probably important?
You think maybe among this Vegapygmy tribe that might be a sign of importance because it does make him taller.
Okay.
It's a sort of worn lady's boot. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, give it to the boot guy.
All right. He feels emboldened and puffs out his veggie chest a little bit.
Go get him.
As they close in around her.
Squish.
All right, and since you are calling out to them, she is now aware of your presence. She just can't see you because you are invisible. So she does kind of turn and look behind her for the first time, seeing where the sound of your voice comes from, and she's very confused.
Good.
Yes. And then it is... Rachel, roll a initiative die for me.
Are you the boot veggie? That'd be awesome.
That is who I'm playing. My name is Celery. It's only 7, Chris.
Okay, I'll just put you in the initiative order then, no worries.
I
Okay.
am Boot Boy.
Yep. So, Evelyn, as you fly out, you see this giantess turn, and she isn't sure where Paulton is, but she takes her best guess and tries to bring her foot down upon him. Paulton, she has disadvantage to hit you because you are invisible.
I don't like it when people try to smush people.
Yeah.
We've seen bad things.
But even on her low roll, she rolled a 22. So
Cool.
she is going to step on you. Fortunately, this doesn't do quite as much damage as her normal attacks. All right. She does 17 points of bludgeoning damage to you.
How fortunate. Okay, that's, wow.
How many hit points do you have left?
I'm hanging in 15.
Okay. And once she realizes that she has actually stepped on you, because she can hear your voice go, ah!
I hear his bagpipes go like,
Then she will try to step on you again with disadvantage. And she rolls a 19 to hit on this one. So she's going to hit you again.
Cool.
This time she's going
this
to...
is very traumatic.
Quickly, boot veggie, celery. You have to attack now, celery.
Okay.
Do it!
Yep. She does 17 points of bludgeoning damage with her second squishy footstep. And that's when you are mashed into the ground.
But you still had death ward.
But you have death ward, so you end up
That's
with
right.
1 hit point.
Okay, is that the same as, that's separate from the snake skin thing, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So the spell that Strix cast upon you, the Death Ward spell, goes off, which means instead of falling unconscious or dying, you are now at 1 hit point and just sort of pressed into a Paulton-shaped hole in the soft ground under her foot.
But invisible.
Yes, invisible.
So it's just a hole.
Yeah. So when she lifts
But
her,
doesn't he, if he takes that much damage, does he become visible?
no.
Okay.
So what it looks like is after your voice is silenced and you are pressed down into the earth, she lifts her foot off and there's a Paulton-shaped indentation with nothing in it, and you don't see anything on the bottom of her boot either. It's like she just squished Paulton into the very earth. And Evelyn, what do you do on your turn?
Well, considering that I have watched Simon be crushed by a giant before,
Yes.
or by whatever he was crushed by, this is very, very traumatic for Evelyn. And she was already booking it
Right.
toward Paulton to help.
Okay.
And so as I remember it, she's exactly something like 30 feet away from the giant.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see Evelyn's like, even when she's fighting, she generally has kind of a pleasant demeanor, you know, like a smile.
Yeah.
You see something come over Evelyn's face that's just like the closest thing to rage you've ever seen. Her eyes kind of get glowy a little bit. And she just takes out that flame sword and just right towards the giant, just as like all full force superhero legs and arms flying at the giant's face with the great sword.
All right. So the sword ignites as you charge the giant.
And
There's a slow-mo
for
shot.
heaven's freaking sake. I'm like, these are my lucky dice. Blah, blah, blah. Even with a +8, I get 11.
Okay, your first swing, she sort of bats away with this big piecemeal bracer on her arm. She just kind of knocks the flaming sword away. But you have your second backhand swing.
Evelyn's still in full rage. She doesn't even care that she got batted away. There we go. More like it. That's a 26.
Yes.
Okay, and she's going to put her divine smite on top of the great sword as well.
I thought so.
Yeah, she's real mad.
Yeah.
So her normal damage with the great sword is 5 plus. Hold on. Oh, plus. Okay, so 5 normal damage.
Yep.
Plus 8 fire damage.
Okay.
Plus for the divine smite. I'm dropping dice. 6, 9, 11 radiant damage.
Then you bring your sword into the side of her neck. You cut a fiery, burning gash through it, spilling her cold blood and dropping her like a stone.
Damn.
And Evelyn's just standing there with the sword like hanging at her side, suspended in the air, like.
Yes. And as this giant just sort of timbers off to the side, her hands get thrown up in the air. She drops her great axe, and Paulton's hand, as she hits the ground, scuttles out of her opened grasp across the ground toward its master.
Come back to me, buddy.
Says the hole.
Says the hole. Says the barely conscious hole. Yes, Paulton, you can see the giant topple above you and fall off to the side, and Evelyn, suspended above you, flaming sword in hand, vengeance dripping from her practically.
I call out, I'm like, nice.
You're okay! She dive bombs down toward him.
There's an empty hole there when you do.
An empty hole.
All right.
She's kind of feeling around blindly, like, where are you?
Yeah, you
Where-
could-
Paulton?
Right, you're putting your hands on his face and all that business.
He's like, I'm fine.
Okay. Diath, you're the next in line. You see this carnage.
Yeah, I was basically sprinting my way back because I wasn't able to fly over all the
Yeah.
walls and stuff. So I was like kind of winding through.
Yep.
So
So you crest the outer wall of the palace, which is just this jumble of stone, where you can see a bunch of small little veggie folk surrounding this blasted circle with the dead giantess lying in it.
okay, so now there's just a bunch of veggie people.
A ring of veggie people around Evelyn.
All right. From where I am, does it still seem like they're in a hostile kind of stance towards
No,
Evelyn?
when the giant falls, they ease off and they just sort of stand there now with their crude spears, their flinty-headed spears.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna put the sword away just to be sure. Yeah, and then it's just a slow approach, like gentle, unthreatening approach towards where Evelyn and Paulton are, as I try to figure out what the heck just happened.
All right. Strix, what do you want to do?
I'm like crestfallen because I wanted to blow up the giant. She's able to do it. She's like, oh. It's like, but I'll just, but it was impressive, but it was too holy for her. So she's just gonna like circle back down, and I want to loot that giant
Okay.
and see if there's anything magic.
So, in addition to her helm, which has a white dragon's fin on it, but it's a gigantic helm, so you're not even sure what you could do with it.
She just looks like too big.
Yeah, but there is what appears to be a blue sapphire-like stone set into the front of the helm, which could be pried out, and it's quite a good size. The other thing of value you notice about her is worn on a chain around her neck is a red stone. It's about the size of, like a soccer ball.
Whoa, Jesus.
And it's attached to this chain, and you can see all these weird sort of engravings upon it, whorls and runes and glyphs and things.
Ooh.
And you remember maybe seeing her clutching it as
Yes.
she was making her way around the battlefield.
Cool. Could I do an Arcana check on this?
You sure could.
Yeah. 20.
Okay.
Actually, 21. Sorry.
All right. You believe that this stone has been ensorcelled to become some sort of tracking device,
Oh, for the ring.
perhaps.
Got it. Okay. Evelyn, I need you to smash this.
All right. And that's Strix's turn.
Yep.
Dragonbait will amble over as well, and he smells like victory,
Aw,
whatever victory smells like.
I just love him so much.
And yeah, so he smells like tar.
Hmm.
But he comes over and just sort of watches the veggie folk warily, but doesn't feel particularly threatened by them. He's more concerned with making sure that Waffles is okay. So Waffles
Aw.
pads up
Oh, they're friends.
alongside of
likes
him.
her.
Yeah, they seem to be good friends now. Waffles kind of likes some of his smells, particularly the ham smell.
Waffles just likes him because he smells like ham.
Yes, exactly.
She like gives him lots of kisses when he's nervous.
Now that he smells like tar, she's kind of making funny faces and
Oh.
shaking her head, but whatever. And as they sort of settle in, again, emerging from the surrounding jungle vegetation and the ruins, and approaching the ring of veggie-pygmies is a figure you haven't seen before. A figure that can only be described as possibly an elf. And at this point in time, I would like Rachel to paint us a picture of what she thinks her character looks like.
Sure. She walks without shoes now. She has a giant pack on her back, and you can see there's one single boot tied to the back of the pack. She has very, very long black hair that's been plaited in these big braids that she kind of slings over her shoulder, covered in freckles, very pale, gap in her teeth, which you can see when she gets closer. Very cautious, elven woman.
Yeah. And as she approaches, the veggie folk sort of form around her protectively, and just sort of follow her like a carpet of vegetation.
Whoa. Evelyn is paying no attention. She's trying to lay on hands on Paulton, but not being able to find where to lay her hands on.
Yeah. Okay.
I will be visible at this point.
You can sit up too if you want. That might help. Okay, so you're visible. You can see him now. You can see Simon pressed underneath him,
No, baby boy.
and he just sort of sits up after Paulton does.
Does he thumbs up?
Not until he stands up and brushes the mud and the ash and the filth off of him, and then he gives you a thumbs up.
Good boy.
All right. Everybody seems to be intact. The only creatures you see is the horde of veggie-pygmies and their elven queen. Or master.
Are we out of initiative yet?
I'm going to say yes.
All right. I just remembered that I was also Arcana checking the box that Evelyn's carrying, the egg.
Yes.
So I was gonna do another one of those because I still haven't figured out what it is yet.
Okay. So
So while Evelyn's I imagine that Strix is like, oh, let me check that box again, comes over to Evelyn. And while Evelyn turns around to let her look at the box, she sees this elf queen and she's like, who are you?
Oh my god.
Who are you guys? I've never seen you here.
We've never been here before, that's why. But I'm Evelyn, this is Strix, that's Paulton and Simon, and that's Dieth, and that's Waffles or Albert, and that's Dragonbait. He doesn't say much. I never really know what he's thinking.
Strix just peeks around Evelyn and is like,
and
also I got a 20 on my Arcana check, by the way.
okay. Wow.
And I just need to ask right off the bat, are you evil or going to try to fight us? Because we've been fighting a lot of things today, and I just need to tell you that I just killed an ice giant, and also we chased away a red dragon, so don't try to hurt us.
And I have an ice rhino.
Okay.
I'm not planning to kill anyone, so no worries there. No, not yet. No, not in general. Wasn't planning.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. You're real pretty.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Where are you from? What are you doing here?
Dieth?
We all just look at Dieth at once. Everyone's head just go,
Yeah. TLDR, go.
Yeah, you're staring at these sort of hot messes in the middle here, and then this sort of fellow kind of strides over from the periphery. This young, slender man.
Very young, like 18 years.
We come from lands far north from here. The only reason we are here is for one purpose only, and that's to stop the plague on this land and stop Rasmussen.
Okay.
That.
Well, that's actually why I'm here too. I mean, partly why I'm here. I do need to ask, have you seen a tiefling or a halfling around here? A rogue, a warlock?
We all just kind of look at each other for a moment.
I look at Strix.
okay, it was me.
I also look at Strix and like,
There's
Not
more
that
than
one.
one tiefling. I'm not the only one.
One that smells better.
right.
Wow. Oh, rude.
No offense.
I point to her, I'm like, this one's funny.
Strix is like hurt and she just shuffles away.
Oh.
I did not mean to be rude.
We haven't seen
okay.
anyone like that. No, we've been making it a point to try to have as little contact with others as possible. As I'm sure you no doubt noticed, lots of people are after us.
Yes, I see
Should I
that.
do the list? There's a big list. So Strahd, now Clouth,
Not
all
even
the Mercy
Evelyn.
Killers. Oh,
Just-
there's more.
At this time, the severed hand is crawled up you, Paulton, so that you can take the ring off it if you want to and put it back on your hand, or you can just try to keep it on this claw.
I see him doing that. I'm like, hey, don't put that back on.
I am already putting the ring on.
All right.
Paulton!
I'm just like,
While
yeah,
making eye
everyone,
contact.
Yeah.
Just-
Okay, the ring is
yeah,
back on.
people are just after us. I don't understand why I don't leave us alone. All right.
So what is that? What?
No worries, it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
the less
What
you
is it?
know, the
Oh, it's
safer you'll
really
be.
cool. Wait, how many charges are there? Hold on,
Actually,
I want to know. It's really cool.
Miranda, you can make an intelligence check, either history or arcana, whatever you prefer.
Sure, let's do.
Actually, yeah, either of those. And so that's basically going to be just an intelligence check for you because you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18.
Very good. You recognize that ring. It's unmistakable because it was made by elves. It is called the Ring of Winter. It is a powerful elven artifact, which has long been assumed to have been either lost or destroyed. And it has the power to do many, many things related to cold. And in certain hands, including some of the ancient and most powerful elves, it could even affect the weather on a global scale.
I see that you are wearing an item of my people. How did you come about this?
We have it for safekeeping purposes.
You just said it at the same time.
We only have it for safekeeping purposes. Dieth points at the frost giant bodies on the ground. You see them? He points at the sky where cloud flew away. Do you see what flew away? We're making sure that things like that don't have it.
Yeah, it's way better on me. Safe on me. Totally fine.
It does look real good on you.
Sure. Okay. Well, I am Miranda, and I am looking for the rest of my adventuring party. We came here to stop a curse as well. I'm currently wandering with this band of little friends that I've made, and I might
Keep them?
A couple of them
Well,
are sort of patting her affectionately as she talks.
They're
After-
so cute.
After she said that they're there to stop a curse, Dieth's eyes immediately scan over her and look for any kind of sign of, say, missing flesh, possibly decay, or anything that would be similar to what they're afflicted with.
She doesn't seem to be suffering from any sort of decay brought on by the curse.
Oh, well, that must be nice.
She's never experienced the trauma of death the way you have.
Oh,
It is, let me tell you, it's very nice.
the way we have, huh?
Not yet.
I'm still behind Evelyn, by the way, looking at the egg thing.
Yes, and
Oh,
you
yeah,
rolled
you
that.
rolled a
You rolled
20.
that 20.
I
Yes.
did.
So, having given it some thought and looked at it and studied it more, you realize that it is like an instrument of Armageddon. It is.
Oh!
It's basically a wizardly crafted device that contains within it the magical force equivalent of about 10,000 magic missiles.
Okay!
No big deal, just carrying a bomb. A giant bomb.
A giant bomb.
A huge,
I know how it
unimaginably large bomb.
I'm sorry?
Do I know how it works?
Yeah, it's basically got a countdown timer.
I'm sorry.
It's
Is it on?
that little clock. That little clock-like device on the one side of the egg is the countdown timer, and it's you just set it and walk away.
Oh, you have to set it though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is
It's
not
not just, like,
currently
counting
It is
down.
not currently ticking
Oh, thank you.
or counting down at all.
Okay.
Does Strix tell us all this?
Maybe not in apocalyptic senses, but it's just like, so maybe just be careful with the thing on your back.
I was being careful. Don't you think I'm being
Maybe
careful?
just more careful.
I mean, did I scratch it? She
All I'm
starts
gonna
like,
say, when we need to kill something big and leave very fast, use that.
Paulton's like, oh, I think you did scratch. Wait, hold on. There's like a scuff. Let me try and.
Get it from
Yeah, no, okay. Nope, still there. Maybe if I like.
Just like push Paulton away. Get away! Get away!
All right.
So while
So-
that's all going on, Miranda and Dieth will continue their conversation.
You're an interesting bunch, I have to say. You're very colorful.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
So we're
So,
also here to end a curse of sorts.
We're
Which
dying.
curse? You're done?
Yeah.
What?
Paulton, come on, man.
Well, I died like 2 seconds ago, man. It's like a daily thing now.
I don't.
I got 2 more on me.
Okay.
All right, yes, fine. We suffered the death curse. We've all fallen before, and because of that, our souls are being drained away from our bodies. We don't even know how much longer we have to survive. And while this soulmonger exists, should anyone else also be slain, their souls are immediately consumed and they can never be brought back. We're here to stop that.
Then we are, in fact, of the same mind.
Oh my God.
Was here for the same purpose with my adventuring party. If you would be so kind, I would like to accompany you. I'm looking for the rest of my crew, and I have a feeling that they would have continued on without me when we got separated.
Oh, they smell like dicks.
Yeah, are they looking for you? They should be looking for you.
I have no idea. I assume they might be. I do know that they were kidnapped. No big deal. Just
If we're approaching the same goal, there's a good chance we'll find them on the way there. If you say they're kidnapped, might have a good idea of who possibly could have done that.
the yuantee.
That's the ones.
Excellent. Then we are going down the same path. I'm glad to not be going down it alone, except for my veggie pygmies. This one is Celery, by the way. He's my friend. And she points to the one with the boot on top of their head.
Evelyn tries to
we
shake
met.
hands with Celery.
Okay. So as you approach him, you have your hand out, and he just kind of looks at it, and you see him kind of look around, and there's like a burnt tuft of grass, and he sort of pulls that out of the earth and hands it to you.
Evelyn takes it and she's like, "Thank you very much." And she curtsies very deeply, and she like tucks away the burnt grass, like it's very precious.
If Strix sees
And
that,
then-
she'll just start pulling out burnt grass
Okay.
and just like trying to hand it to
And
them.
then after you do that, he holds his hand out.
Evelyn thinks,
I see the
like-
hand and I butt in and I give him a piece of gold. Just like,
Oh, okay.
Here you go.
He will look at that, and then he just sort of wanders off with that piece of gold.
We need that, Paulson.
Oh, we're fine.
Yeah. It suddenly dawns on you that these creatures might be, enamored by every little thing.
That's adorable.
It's like, oh, wait, no, actually, I want that back. Hold on.
You'd best leave it with them. Once you give them something, you're not getting it back.
"That's fine. We have plenty. The Lathander provides everything we could ever need."
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we're not far now from where Rasnisi lies. In fact, I made a shortcut to it.
Miranda, you've heard of Rasnisi. He is a yuantee warlord rumored to lurk in this haunted city. But in your investigations, with the help of your Vegapygmy army, you are aware that there is undoubtedly an entrance to the underground yuantee dungeon in the ruined palace, no doubt, because you've seen yuantee coming and going from there routinely. But your Vegapygmies know of another way into the complex, a hidden tunnel that they use as a bolt hole or an escape hatch. And that is outside of the palace, near where the river kind of flows through the city. And as far as you know, unguarded.
Excellent. Well, I may happen to know of a way that we could get in. Parsnip, who's this one over here, was describing a separate entrance to me that may be unguarded. It's by the river.
Wow, wonderful. If we can get in there faster, that sounds awesome.
Can we rest? I'm out of fireballs.
Yeah, before we go anywhere, we just need a hot minute just to catch our breath. He kind of gestures to everything around him. We just give us a little bit.
It's like on fire. It's
Yeah.
smoking.
Yeah.
It's like,
Certainly, that's perfectly fine. I'm not in a rush, especially on my own.
Well, we are. Everyone catch your breath. We move out in 30 minutes.
All right.
30 minutes? I can't get fireballs in 30 minutes.
1 hour then. Jesus.
Look, Paulson was dead like 5 minutes ago. He needs a long rest.
I say we take the night.
Mechanically speaking, I was going to do a short rest so we can get moving right away, because if we do a long rest, some of us are losing hit points.
Right.
That's fair.
So,
Some of us are at 1 hit point, though.
Some of us can.
yeah, but you got like
Well, you
hit
can
die
you can spend your
before-
hit dice, of course.
Yeah.
Would some of you like some healing before we take a short rest?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be real nice. I got it though. I
Excellent.
can take care of him. It's fine.
Sure. I won't touch him. Do you need any?
I guess it comes down to if you
Anyone?
guys need the long rest to recharge all your spells, or if a short rest with some spells back is enough.
I mean, I feel like going in full spells to the tomb is a really good idea.
Yeah, I feel a little low. I only have X amount of huts.
All right. Miranda, you seem to know these parts way better than we do. Is there a nearby foliage or something at least somewhat covered that we can spend the night?
I can show you where the veggie pygmies have been spending their time.
Perfect.
It's not really much of a hut or anything. It's more of a clearing.
Oh, no, we'll take care of the hut.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I can take you there.
So I guess not necessarily the night, because whatever time it is, we'll just take the 8 hours and then we'll head out after that.
Okay, so you follow Miranda into a section, a fairly nice, relatively quiet quarter of the haunted city. The ash from the distant volcanoes is still falling, but not heavily. And so everything is sort of covered with a light blanket of this white-gray smoke ash. And but as she leads you into the Veggie clearing, there are a few dry mounds that you can kind of sit on. Everything else is kind of surrounded by swamp.
All right. I mean, works for me.
Yep. And as
Paulton?
Paulton, you're going to create another hut?
It's like anyone who wants to chill in like 70 degrees for the rest of the day, come on in.
Oh, I do.
Miranda, do you need a rest?
You know, I'm fine. I think I'm going to stay out here. And she just picks like a little mound that has enough of a level sitting that she can sit down and just go into a trance.
Yes.
Are you sure
Out.
that it's real safe inside the hut?
And she's just out.
Huh.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So you're all in your comfortably controlled surroundings. You see Miranda off on a nearby mound sitting. All of her Veggie have just kind of surrounded her and kind of lying flat around her. So she's well and truly surrounded by them at this point. Except one. You see one of them is standing outside of your hut and just staring at you all.
Can he see through? Isn't it like obscured?
Well, Paulton has the option of making it opaque or transparent. If it's opaque, he's just standing there and staring. If it's transparent, he's just standing there and staring. If it's opaque, he's got his face up against it.
Oh my God.
So it's not fully transparent, so he's like looking into it, but then I like see him looking, so I like squat down and look right up, and then I make it transparent. So that's
All right, he's sort of startled, steps away. Then Simon sort of walks up next to you and does this.
As if like, don't collect another pet.
I'm like, oh, it's okay. You're my only son. It's all right.
Yeah. And then the Veggie misunderstanding is just like,
No. Oh no.
Paulton, you see Simon
teaching the
turn
other
his
kids
head
bad
around.
words.
Simon turns his head 270 degrees back toward you, Paulton, and his eyebrows furrow. Dun, dun, dun.
I blame the schools. It's
He's been watching way too much TV.
Okay. Now, Miranda, you know that there's all kinds of creatures that stomp around the city. But there are places that your army is big enough that they can watch out in the perimeter and well and truly alert you if something creeps upon you. But as fate would have it, you enjoy a quiet night and you're all able to rest up.
Yay.
Yay.
By
When
the-
does that happen?
By the morning, the winds have changed and the ash is no longer falling on the city. It's still hot and humid, even at this early hour, but you're relieved by the fact that when you step out of the hut, there is a mist that's just sort of settling around you, and it's cool. It's coming from the nearby river.
I don't like mist, so I'm just gonna hover on my broom above it.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
it's,
like, nope.
it's fairly low-lying mist, only about 15 feet high, so you can easily ascend above it.
All right, so we get a full rest?
Yep.
Yay.
And as you climb
Yay.
above the mist, Strix, you can see it's kind of spread its tendrils, this fog, throughout parts of the city. And you can see it creeping ever onward. It's kind of spooky and eerie.
Yeah,
in a-
I'm.
Remember when we saw a mist like this and Strahd came out of it? And that was the beginning of that great adventure?
Strix just yells, "Please stop talking about that."
Okay.
Yep.
But it was real fun.
As she mentions that, I like just kind of side glance at my shadow just to make sure it's still just being a shadow.
Yeah, it's behaving itself, at least for now. Strix, you see a flight of 3 pterodactyls high overhead. Yeah, they looked quite small at first, but they've descended a bit. Now you realize, oh wait, they're big flying lizard creatures. They seem to just be circling the city lazily.
I'm just gonna hover up here until I get the
Yep.
okay to go with everyone.
One of them eventually does have the courage to sort of dive bomb into the city, not at you, but into the river, and it comes out with something big and fleshy.
Oh, and just ate a fish. That's fun.
Does Paulton still have to make a check each day for the ring, or is that concluded?
He doesn't have to make a check anymore for reasons.
I figured.
Yeah, no checks needed. Cool.
Right. But one of you is going to randomly lose a hit point because of the death curse, and that's going to be Diath.
Okay. So that means Evelyn and Strix, you're both wearing the rings of protection +1 right now.
Paulton and Strix.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paulton and Strix.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
Evelyn doesn't need to.
yep. So both Paulton and Strix are wearing the rings.
Because her soul is literally in them.
So I remember that for your armor class and saving throws.
Yep. And
I have a rock that reminds me
yep.
on my desk.
and as Dragonbait in the morning kind of wanders off to take care of Dragonbait business, and when he comes back, you see that there is a creature following him. And it is a baby Triceratops.
Oh my god!
Yay!
No.
18 on the side.
Yay!
You can see it has sort of a smudge, like a
Oh my God.
poo smudge on one
Oh,
side.
I recognize it.
That looks
It's
like
my
it.
dinosaur.
It may have been a number at one point. Yeah, painted on its side.
Miranda has the scimitar ready.
Okay.
She doesn't trust
Strix
us.
is like, no. This is my dinosaur. I won on the race. It's mine. I definitely.
dinosaur?
Well, it's technically Jim's dinosaur.
What?
Can I pet it? Can I pet it? Can I pet it?
Fine.
Can I pet it, Strix? Can I pet it?
Yeah, yes, its name is 18. I covered it in poop because he told me to decorate it, which I had to do because I was under an infernal contract. So I did decorate it, but I decorated in shit because I didn't like him telling me to do things.
Evelyn was like about to throw her arms around it to be like, oh, sweet baby. But then Strix says she covered it in shit and she's like,
And
Kinda
Dragon,
like wipes off a
as
little
Dragonbait
salt.
comes over to you, you can see he's sort of smelling of honeysuckle, and that suggests to you that he's just got some concern about this creature.
You said it was a baby Triceratops?
It is a young Triceratops. It's about the size of a suitcase.
Yeah. Strix is like, it was an adult when I wrote it.
What?
I mean, when Jim wrote it.
What?
Yeah, it's a baby now. I don't know why that
Yeah,
happened.
you have no explanation for this, Strix. You have, like, last time you saw this Triceratops, it was old, not old, but it was a mature, huge elephantine creature.
I mean,
Strix, do you think it's under a spell?
yeah, maybe Jim's a shitty wizard. Maybe he did it. I don't know.
You can make an Arcana check.
All right, I will do that.
Guys, who cares? It's a baby dinosaur. This is great.
This is not great. These things are vicious.
Oh my god,
Be my friend.
I just rolled an 18.
Okay. You think that magic may be behind this, that there's definitely a transmutation effect has somehow taken hold of 18 and reverted it to an earlier form of life.
All right. Yeah, so this is definitely magic. I don't know by what or who, but it definitely should have been an adult dinosaur. Now it is not.
But
It
it's not
doesn't
gonna
matter.
just
It's
like,
great.
it's not just gonna go like and suddenly be a big dinosaur again.
I don't know. I mean,
Oh, okay.
that happens all the time, right?
I guess.
But maybe
I
it's
agree
like,
with Paulton. It's amazing. We should keep it.
Yep. It sort of waddles around you. It's gravitating toward dragon bait, probably because he smells so nice. But as it sort of wanders around, it does recognize Strix and comes over and kind of makes a sound.
oh, I'll just rub his head.
I see Miranda's disapproval of the dinosaur and hold up the ring threateningly. It's like, you be nice to the dinosaur.
No, Paulton. No, Paulton. No.
We need this.
Threaten me. I don't know you enough yet to trust you.
Okay, stop threatening people. Stop.
Yeah. And you can see it wanders over to Waffles, and Waffles just does this. And just sort of knocks it about 2 feet to the side.
Oh my God.
Paul just throws up from laughing.
And it's sort of one of these.
Well, Evelyn goes over and like bops her on the nose gently, like, no, Waffles. You be nice to the new baby, but it's okay. You're still my baby. And she cuddles her, and she's like, no, you'll always be my baby, scratching her ears. And she's like, but it's a baby. You have to be gentle.
Ian is just watching this totally silent.
He's just thinking to himself the entire time, I'm running an adoption center.
This is the pet party. Miranda just scoops up like a whole group of her veggie pygmies and holds them really close.
Yes, and the other, the ones who aren't picked up are so insanely jealous that they just sort of gather around you, and you become this mass of vegetation with an elf head poking out of the top.
Oh my God. Strix is looking at all this and she's like, this is the best day in Schultz ever.
After Evelyn's like telling Waffles all that, Paulton walks by really quiet and just like, do it again. It was funny.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah. So.
Cool. That's it. That's the end. We're done.
We're
Great.
done.
So does it seem
We
like
have
this?
everything we wanted.
Does it seem like this dinosaur is just going to be following us no matter what?
It looks like it might be following dragon bait no matter what.
Okay. You know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Dragon
I'm
bait can
glad
take care of it.
I'm glad that he's found dragon bait because I don't think that Jim was a good owner.
Yeah, I feel like
When you
this
say
dinosaur
dragon
would be
bait can take
safer
care of
with
it,
dragon bait.
when you say dragon bait can take care of it, dragon bait gives you a sort of a wide-eyed look.
Well, all right. We'll figure it out later. In the meantime, this dinosaur is probably way safer with us than
Who rescued who, right?
Yeah, way safer with us than with Jim Dark Magic. And should it ever occur, this would be a great bargaining chip.
Well, when we move on to our racing career, after we defeat this curse and deal with the
Evelyn.
soulmonger, then we can, raise him as a racing triceratops, and he'll have so much fun.
Chris,
and
can I
Strix
make-
can teach us how to ride.
Can I make an ice dinosaur that looks just like it?
Yeah.
So it can have a friend? Cool.
Okay.
You use the first charge of your ice ring to.
Yeah.
So,
Mighty
yes.
and powerful ring can bring about the winters among all the lands. Ice dinosaur.
Do you want it to be? Do you want it to be the same size scale?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
a little ice baby dinosaur is formed out of ice using 4 charges from your ring, and
Guys, he has a friend. This was really important.
yes,
Evelyn is delighted.
yes,
Number 19?
We'll call this one Ice Teen.
Aww.
Ice Teen. Okay, so yes, Ice Teen, the baby ice dinosaur, materializes next to 18, the baby real dinosaur. And
Evelyn
now-
whispers to Paulton, she's like, he named it. See, he likes it.
We're leaving. It's time to go.
Yep. Okay.
Miranda?
Was this really a good use of my people's magic? Just
Like,
I'm going to say a hard no.
I would follow that.
So
Okay.
Miranda, having tranced and meditated for the night and rested up and whatnot and given some thought to the ring, something else that you recall about the ring is that it became, the magic that went into it was unstable. And the ring, you remember in legends, manifested a malevolent personality. And that's part of the reason why the elves sought to rid themselves of it. That malevolent personality could still be trapped in the ring. So you don't think it's a wholesome thing. You think it is a baleful item.
Oh, gee, a malevolent personality at odds with Paulton. Ah, geez.
Golly. Interesting. I'm just going to keep an eye on him for now. I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
Not yet.
Okay.
Strix is just thinking about like, what if the ring and Gutter were put next to each other? Would they have like conversations?
No.
Would they have like
We
inanimate
could
objects?
find out.
You don't know
Do
the
it,
sword
do it, do
talks. Shut up.
Oh, true.
The ring would be like, I'm more evil than you.
Oh my god!
More evil. Oh no.
Gutter would be like,
How many people have you killed?
yeah, exactly.
They're just like, these guys are idiots.
Yes.
They'll pick up anything off the ground.
Leave.
All right, and Miranda, do you want to lead them to the secret entrance that your Vegapygmies found?
Yes, I
Okay.
will. Finally.
Yes.
Do it.
Do-do-do.
At
So,
some point, we're gonna have so many things following us around. Strix could just, or Chris could just do an episode where there's none of the Waffle Crew. It's just all of their companions.
waffle
Army!
Minions.
Just narrates
Yeah.
all of their adventures.
Wait,
Well-
yeah. So what is there at this point? There's
You've got the hand and the marionette puppet Simon. You've got the baby dinosaur. You've got the ice dinosaur. You've got Waffles. You've got, I guess Dragon Bay doesn't count. He's like a
Oh, poor dragon.
maybe he does. Maybe he does. And then you've got 50 odd Vegapygmies.
Don't forget or no, we don't. Juniper.
Juniper
Yeah, yes.
packed away inside your stomach.
Just napping and being fat.
Yeah, exactly. Probably getting fatter.
Yep.
And am I missing anything?
I think that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
For now.
For
That's it
now.
for now.
And Gutter and the Ring, who also are both sentient.
Right. So I guess they qualify as travel.
Paul looks around just like, yeah, don't fucking with us.
Certainly your numbers went up when Miranda joined the group. So you come to an overgrown, sort of lodged in the side of a ridge near the river is an overgrown tunnel mouth. And when Miranda clears away the vegetation, you see it goes down into the earth, and it's a rough-hewn passageway. And according to her Vegapygmies, they have seen occasionally serpent folk emerging from this tunnel, but not with any regularity.
Okay,
All
are we
right,
really
let's
all
go.
that? Let's just head on in. I'll probably take point for now.
Okay. And you, because being an elf, you have dark vision, so you don't rely on light to see. Those of you who don't have dark vision, how are you hoping to see ahead of you?
I can turn
Strix?
my staff into a lantern.
Okay.
So I'll turn my staff into a lantern with a little green light in it.
Okay.
I will see by Strix's light.
Excellent. You can all do that. Miranda, what are you going to do with some or all of your entourage? You can pretty much command them as you will.
I'll keep a small amount at the mouth of the tunnel that we just entered, just in case something follows us in or ends up coming in after we've gone down. I'm going to keep one or two about 15 feet ahead of us to do a little scouting, and then the rest I just want to sort of surround the party, like a little buffer.
Okay. Yeah, the tunnel you're descending is it ranges in width from about 5 to 8 feet. It vacillates as it descends and wends its way into the earth. The Vegapygmies have dark vision, so they don't need light to see. Okay, so there's a couple scouts ahead. Then Miranda's there, and the rest of the party surrounded by more of these vegetable folk. And there's one that Simon habitually likes to trip about every 10 feet or so.
Don't hurt Potato.
Yeah.
Potato's one of my favorites.
Potato, yeah. I'm
I'm
writing all this down.
gonna ask Miranda. I'm like, so what do these guys do? Do they do any of them shoot poison darts?
No.
No.
No? Oh, okay. Well, do you have
don't.
like some kind of telepathic link with them?
No.
No? Oh, weird.
They're just little friends that I made somehow.
Weird. Mine does that. That's weird.
Oh, interesting. Well, at some point down the road, I'm probably going to have something fun to tell you about that ring, but for right now, don't worry.
Oh, that it stops you from aging naturally, and I'm gonna
No.
look like this forever. I know it's pretty cool.
No, that's not it. No,
No.
no, you'll
Both of
age.
you, shh.
Yeah.
You'll get old and you'll die. No worries. Just like everyone else.
Oh, I've been there.
All right.
Again.
Yep.
Again.
The veggie pygmies ahead of you, you catch up to them, Miranda, because they have stopped when the tunnel finally breaks into a cave. This cave has, you sort of emerge from the tunnel standing on a rock pebble beach that forms one end of this cave. And the cave is mostly flooded with water and goes off some distance into the darkness. At the edge of the water, tethered to the beach, are 2 boats, canoes. Each of them looks like they could hold about, you'd guess, 4 people and their gear. And they're just moored here and abandoned. Now, as you stand here on the beach and look at the possibilities of where to go next, there is this underground river that you can head off down, but it looks like the beach also to your left widens a bit, and there is a recess in one wall with a stone door embedded in it.
I'll turn and look to the party and point the different directions where things are, and then just any thoughts on how to proceed?
How deep is this river?
The water is quite dark, so you can't tell simply by looking at it. Do you want to use something to gauge its depth?
Yeah, I like scoop up like a small rock or something like a hand-sized rock off the beach or something to that, and then I'll reach it out towards Strix and tell her to cast light on it.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have light? I don't think I have light.
What?
I don't have light.
Okay.
Isn't that just a cantrip?
Okay. Oh yeah. Then I do
well,
have light.
not
Well, I didn't
necessarily.
take light. Yeah, I don't have light. That's not my style.
Oh,
Chris,
Yes.
Can the Hand of Hell swim?
Oh my god.
It doesn't have a natural swimming speed, so it would struggle with swimming.
But I
would-
kind of like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It would probably sink and just walk across the bottom of whatever it was on.
But it wouldn't drown, right?
No, it can't drown.
oh, so I didn't realize Strix doesn't have light. So
No, she'll just grab it and be like, I can swim. I'll go down and look.
No, I'd rather.
Well, what if
So
it's
went
really
down
deep?
the last time you did that, you got eaten up by piranhas.
Was that time.
Okay, cool. I'll find out. I'm just gonna
right, well-
throw the hand in the water.
Okay.
What is dead may never die.
Okay, so the dead hand lands in the water and kind of floats there for a bit and then just sort of turns over and sinks to the bottom and lands on the bottom.
Do I have to go get that now, or
No, it's fine. I'm figuring out how deep it is. It can convey that to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Has it hit the bottom yet?
It hits the bottom. It tells
Okay.
you it has landed on the bottom.
Okay. Do we have an estimate of how?
Roughly how far out into the water did you throw it? Like 10 feet, 20 feet?
Let's say like 10 feet.
Okay. It lands on the bottom and you gauge that it's about 10 feet out, it's about 5 feet deep.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna convey that and have it come back to me.
Okay, that's not bad
Okay.
at all.
Too deep for Evelyn.
Oh, rip.
Yeah. It comes out of the water, walks over toward you again.
Good job, buddy. I'm gonna give it a little bump.
All right. It hops up, bumps your hand, and lands.
Why do we need to swim?
We
have
don't need to
plenty-
swim. I just need to know how deep this was because I'm trying to figure out if the boats themselves are something that the yuantee need to use to cross because the water is too deep, or maybe they can't swim. I'm trying to figure out what is used more often by them, that door or these boats.
What I'm assuming is down the tunnel this direction where the water continues, it might get deeper down there, which is why the boats would be here.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about the door, I have to admit.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll
want
go
me
over
to
to the. I'll go to the door and start kind of scoping it out, see if it's like trapped or anything.
Okay.
Maybe peek around the other side or keyholes or whatever.
You do see that the stone door has built into it what appears to be a metal locking mechanism.
Okay.
And it looks, at a glance, to be fairly sophisticated. It's not a crude lock.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean it couldn't be, say, picked, but...
Right.
Do you want me to peek through as a cloud?
Uh,
I'll under and peek and stick my head under.
Do you have to pick locks? He could just open it.
save your energy if you can.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll just sit on the ground.
yeah, I'll pull out the tools and twirl in my fingers a little bit and get to work on this lock.
While he's doing that, Evelyn kind of like sidles up to Miranda and she's like, "So, what do you do like in your free time? Like, what's your thing?"
She's just hitting on her.
Free time, and she takes her staff, which is this big knotted like oak staff, and it has some like carved vines on it, and she taps it, and a sunflower, giant sunflower, bursts from the top of it, and she plucks it off and goes, I make flowers.
Is she like handing it to me?
Yeah.
Evelyn takes it like it's the most beautiful thing in the
It is.
whole
It
world.
looks just like the sun, and it's just absolutely radiant and perfect.
Evelyn's like, no, they don't, because her face can't do anything.
Well, her mouth is hanging open.
Yeah, her mouth kind of goes, like you hear gears go because her mouth just hangs open, and she's like, you can see her eyes like they don't cry, but they kind of go a little like her irises are kind of metallic, so they kind of just go, like that. And she's like, "This is the most precious gift anyone has ever given me in the whole. Well, maybe not the most, but it's very precious." And thank you.
Oh, you liked it? Well, and she does it again, and there's like little morning glory flowers, and she picks them up and hands them over, and she does it again, and then she does it again, and it's like various like irises.
Yeah.
Handing her a bunch of flowers.
Just flowers is like there's crazy noises coming from the side. And Strix just looks over from the ground, is like, what the nine hells is happening over there?
There's like a whir coming from Evelyn, like when when your computer has too many tabs open and it's like, like spins up the fans. It's like, and she's just and you look over and there's like flowers in her hair, flowers in like the seams of her body. They're tucked in her armor. And then she's also showing like she really quickly takes off one of her bracers and like pulls her sleeve down, and she holds up her arm that has some floral engravings on it in like the wood pieces, and she holds it up to the staff and she's showing, and she's like, "Look, I love flowers too. Look, do you like flowers? What's your favorite flower?"
All of them. I guess. And then she's like, wait, I have something cooler to show you. She loves to show off her magical shit. So she has this giant cloak on her, and she shifts it, and some dust sort of shimmers off of it, and it becomes this heavily embroidered flower cloak that goes all the way to the ground. And before it was just like this dinky brown little cloak, and it's just a regal.
Girl, where did you get that cloak? Oh my God.
This is two high school girls who just had their first sleepover.
A couple of the flowers have fallen to the ground, and the baby triceratops has wandered over and started eating them.
Okay.
Strix is now sneezing because there's too much polish.
She's just making more. Miranda's still making flour. Flour. Too much flour. It just destroyed.
Evelyn just like links arms with her and is just like girl talking, like blah blah blah, not even paying attention because Dieth is handling the dungeon diving stuff. She's just
We should probably resolve that, by the way.
Yes, please.
As you finagle with the lock, you trip a needle trap inside of it. And I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Gladly. 21.
You're like, haha, fuck you. I knew that was coming. So the needle does not stick you. It just sort of comes out of the lock threateningly. You can see that it is poisoned. Once it has triggered, it's not hard for you to gracefully jigger it loose and remove it so that you can actually continue your work on the lock.
Don't worry, guys. I removed the trap on the door.
Yep.
Nice. Good plan.
Stop, Dieth, I have a flower.
That's nice,
Evelyn
Evelyn.
and Miranda are back in the corner, just flowers everywhere.
And
Keep doing your work.
Make another dexterity check. A dexterity check for the lock.
Okay.
This is rolling around in the dirt. All this
Even better. That's a 31.
You have no trouble tripping this lock and opening it.
Do. Okay. So with that, it's going to be just a very careful slight open so I can peek through the other side and kind of get an idea. If I need to, wave Strix over so that her lantern kind of shine some light in so I can see.
When you push open the door, it makes a grinding sound of stone rubbing against stone. That's just the way the door is.
Yeah.
It's quite heavy.
It's like,
And when you shine the greenish light in, you see that the air beyond, there's a room beyond. Its dimensions aren't immediately clear to you, but what you do pick up on is the moist and sticky air. And there is some natural light that spills in, the morning light spilling in through cracks in the ceiling. So this chamber is not terribly far down in the earth. It's shallow enough that their light can enter from above. You see what appear to be stone workbenches arrayed around the room, and they appear to be laden with all kinds of clay bottles of various shapes and sizes. And the whole place is quite a clutter. You can also hear what sounds like just trickling water, maybe just sort of seepage into the room, you're not really sure. And there is some sort of pollen and dust hanging in the air of the room because the air inside is very, very still. But I'd like you both to make perception checks to see if you notice anything untoward.
Okay. Oh, it's okay.
I got a 17.
Good.
19.
You both notice that toadstools, snake root, belladonna, and other plants seem to sort of sprout up out of the clutter, sometimes growing out of the floor, sometimes growing on a tabletop, sometimes growing out of a wall, fed by water seepage throughout the room. And
Strix is so excited.
moving among the plants and tables in the shadows are some humanoid figures that are hunched and moving sluggishly and abnormally, suggesting they may not be alive.
I don't really want to deal with that.
Yeah.
And and you also catch this sort of the reek of decay.
Ooh. Is there any, can we see any exits from there, or like stairs going up?
Your light's not, this room is, let's see, 10, 20, 30, it's over 30 feet deep. So you can't really see the far end of the room. The walls that you can see to either side of you, however, don't have any exits in them.
So there didn't seem to be another exit in this room?
If there could be one on the far wall across from you, you just can't see it.
Can't really
But actually, you have dark vision, Strix, so you do see an exit tunnel on the far end of the room.
Oh, okay. So there is an exit tunnel.
Yeah.
Do these like creatures look like they're tending to the plants?
Right now, they don't look like they're doing anything. And with your dark vision, you can discern that they're probably zombies, and human ones at that.
Got it. They're zombies.
I know. Should we tell Evelyn?
I mean, she'll want to hit them really hard.
I know. Just
yeah, she doesn't have to know.
Evelyn's just like, and what flower is next? Ooh, and what flower is next?
We just close the door.
Yeah.
Well, we probably need to go that way, though.
Miranda shouts across the waterway, what's behind the door?
Strix just absentmindedly goes, it's just zombies. Oh, wait.
Zombies. Evelyn's like in full battle dress with flowers now. Like there's just flowers all over her. It's like her war paint.
Not zombies. What do elves not like?
no.
Anyone?
Zombies?
Evil rings?
Evil? No. Boring door. Not worth it.
Well, I somehow think you're lying. Let me roll a perception check.
Okay.
There's giant pots of stew, and your little veggie friends might not appreciate that.
Why are they trying to get us to not come in that door? Are we not going through the door?
We're not. Nope.
I think that we should take a peek in the door.
I don't know what's happening, so I'm just looking at Dieth like, are we going to send her in there?
Are we fighting?
Miranda, you're sort of shouldering yourself toward the door to see what's in there?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Just look over at Strix and be like, it was locked for a reason.
That's true.
You can make a perception check, Miranda, as you listen and peer inside.
We're fighting zombies.
I poke my head in, like if she's poking her head in here, I poke my head underneath.
All right. Miranda, you sense, more by sound than sight, that some creature has slunk its way close to the door and is waiting on the inside for somebody to enter so that it can ambush them.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You can hear its breathing.
Guys, I'm real good at undead. I'm real good at it.
Well, I think there's something right on the other side of this door. Do you wanna smash, Evelyn? Wanna go kill some stuff?
Evelyn looks at Dia.
Yes. I want to kill some stuff. I'd like to kill some things.
So
right.
exactly.
I'm against that.
I ask her, is it undead? Is it also undead? Is it a zombie? Is it
I
undead?
think so.
It's a zombie.
Yes.
Sick.
All right.
Just to be extra cautious, Dieth will just be mentioned just to beware the spores growing around. You never know.
Well,
Evelyn looks at
I'm going
herself
to
and
take
is
a
like,
second to
Oh yeah.
cast a protection from poison on the closest person, living person.
okay. Living person, that would probably be either Strix or Dieth.
Or yourself?
Or yourself.
I can stay behind.
Okay.
I can do range. I'm good.
Okay. Who's your target then, between the two?
Let's do a DF.
Okay, Dieth, you have protection against poison.
Hooray.
And I believe that's resistance, right? Maybe not. Maybe it's immunity. I don't remember. Protection from poison. Okay, you touch a creature. If it is poisoned, you neutralize the poison. For the duration, the target has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned and has resistance to poison damage. So there you go, Dieth.
Great. Okay.
Yay.
All right.
Got it.
Evelyn, you going to go in? Or should I call you
I'm gonna.
Flower Bot? Yeah.
Evelyn shows the magic, the heart of Spinelli to Miranda, and then she goes, "Watch this." And she goes, "Poof," and it goes, and
It
turns
ignites
to.
with fire.
And then she just tries to like reach around the door right to where Miranda said the thing was, and with surprise, just like stab.
So
The thing.
you're going to do it. You're just going to reach around without looking at it.
Yeah,
Okay, so you make an attack with disadvantage.
but I have surprise.
I know, but you can't see what you're attacking.
This is what
Well,
you get
she's
for
gonna
showing
try
off.
to do it to look cool.
All right.
All right, it's okay. 19.
That still hits.
All right, and
Still
it's
looks
gonna get.
cool.
Yep, she's showing off. Lathander would be ashamed. Okay, 7 normal damage and 10 fire damage.
So 17.
Yeah, but Miranda's super impressed. So.
All
Evelyn
right.
winks.
That seems to wound the creature, and it makes a hissing noise at you.
I get another attack too.
Yes, you do.
This time I got the surprise, so now this time I'll look around, like kind of step halfway through the door.
All right. What you see is what looks like a man who has some serpentine features, but is basically a man. You can see his eyes, though, are more snake-like than human. And he is about, as you attack him with your flaming sword, he has in his hand what appears to be a cylindrical device with a pointy, sharp needle at one end.
Do not like.
Oh heck.
Almost like a two-handed syringe.
No.
Oh,
Gross.
heck.
Dare you to try to poke that in my skin.
But
Easy.
make your second attack.
It is a 17.
That, too, is a hit.
That will be 11 regular damage and 8 fire damage.
So 19 more. All right. He is extremely, extremely hurt by that. And rather than attack you, he drops the syringe onto
That's
the
right.
ground and flees, just disengaging from you, essentially. bolts.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, because all he's doing is disengaging.
Oh.
So he moves away from you, avoiding attacks of opportunity, and runs into the darkness in the opposite direction. Fleeing,
No.
fleeing the chamber as fast as his human legs will take him.
We have to stop him.
Yep.
Oh,
So
I'll
let's
take a
see.
bonus action, Chris. Chris, I'm so excited.
What's that? What you doing?
I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Ensnaring Strike on him.
From your last attack, basically? Okay. Go ahead. He has to make a saving throw, right?
Yes, he
Let's see how he does.
strength saving throw.
Ooh.
And I imagine that in this particular moment, the writhing thorny mass of vines also has flowers on them.
Right, of course.
God damn it.
All right, and this is a dexterity save, you said, right?
Strength save.
Strength save, sorry. Oh, he's not great at those.
Aha!
All right, you tangle him up in flowery vines.
Yay.
I say something like, "Don't go leaving yet."
Curse you! So, yes, the threat has been neutralized. So at this point in time, as you all enter, you see that trapped, at least for the time being, in Evelyn's flowering vines is a yuantee who could easily pass for human under a cloak or some such, but whose true nature is betrayed by some serpentine features that he has chosen not to hide. You can see milling around the room behind him are 5 what appear to be human zombies, and you can see all kinds of like spore growths and plant growths on them. They also look horribly, horribly bloated. And it's like they have sacks of bloated flesh clinging to their bodies.
Ew.
Those poor people.
Someone go poke it.
Could I
No.
like look at that syringe and try and see if there's like some kind of magic thing? about
Sure.
it?
Make either Arcana or Nature.
17.
Is that Arcana?
Arcana, yeah.
You don't believe that. You see, it's a sort of a brass framework, but it's got sort of a glass canister construction and a pump, and obviously the needle at the end. The substance in it does not appear to be magical. It appears to be
Nature-y.
nature-y.
Okay. I just look at Miranda and I'm like, hey, this is nature-y. I only know magic.
Hold the syringe out to her.
Yeah.
So
I want to look at it.
Okay. Go ahead and make a intelligence nature check. Since you don't have the nature skill, it's just intelligence for you.
22.
Nice. You believe that it is some sort of horrible poison cocktail.
Excellent. I'm just going to pocket that.
The syringe is about like 1.5 feet long, so it's a good size device. It's got a huge sort of pump handle, and it's a two-handed, you don't run with this thing through crowded hallways kind of deal. But you
Be
could
careful with that.
you could basically tie it off to you if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to do that just
Okay.
in case.
Yep.
Is the needle just like hanging out?
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy was definitely experimenting on these zombies. Also, by the way, I pick up as many weird plants as I can.
There is
Doing the
a
exact same thing.
there is a
I'm doing the exact same-
plethora of
Yeah,
weird.
I go buck wild on those plants.
You also see on some of the tables, these stone tables, what appear to be all kinds of bottled poisons.
I take a couple of those too.
Among them, you see a stoppered bronze jug.
Ooh. I'm on that jug.
Yeah. It looks like a jug of yuantee craft because it's sort of got serpentine motif to its design, and its stopper is made of jade.
Whoa.
So while they do that, Dieth is going to try to interrogate this ensnared yuantee.
Yes.
I will go aid him in that.
Okay.
Excellent.
Evelyn like gives them kind of a
I'll
bow,
be the good
like
cop.
Evelyn like presents him to them like he's all yours.
Yeah, he sort of almost sort of cowers into his entangling vines. He's looks like a kind of a malnourished, spindly fella.
All right. Guess first thing I want to ask is, what are you doing in here and with them?
Yeah, bitch. I smack him.
Oh my god.
Good cut, bad cut, Paulton Diaz is everything I ever wanted.
All right. Yes, this is brilliant. Okay.
Oh my god.
He cowers after the strike and says, "I'm working. I'm making the perfect poison. Yes,
Poisons for what?
poisons to kill things. Even things that are immune to poison will succumb to my poisons."
Ooh, bad answer.
The ultimate
Yeah, bad
poison.
answer, bitch.
No, it's good.
Who are we going to use this on?
Anybody, everybody.
And this works on anyone.
It will when it's working. It's still in the development phase.
So you didn't even do it right yet.
He says, "It's only a matter of time. I have gathered poisons from all over the jungle, from some of the most lethal creatures unimaginable. And when I combine them, their potency will be incrementally increased, thousandfold perhaps. And then I will use it to slay our enemies."
God, this is fascinating. You're doing
Yeah.
a really good job, aren't you?
Miranda at this point has like 5 different completely uprooted plants, and she tucks
Yeah.
them under one arm, comes up with the syringe, and looks at the guy, and then just pokes it into him.
Okay,
Oh.
you stick him with the syringe.
As she does that, Diaz doesn't even look. He just goes, oops.
Yeah, bitch.
My hand
Oops.
slipped.
He really takes this bad cop thing
That's
very
there for
seriously.
All right.
Poor
Was there
guy.
an antidote to this?
Okay. Well, interestingly enough, just the 1 point of damage from the syringe is enough to kill him.
I kind of beat him up real hard before.
So you just sort of shove this in and then inject him full of the poison, and he just sort of swells up and dies. And then foam comes out of his mouth and eyes.
And after that, Diaz just like kind of looks over at Brandon like, oh.
I like crouch down to the corpse. I just like look him over. It's like, I don't think we're getting anything else out of him.
It lets out one twitch.
Evelyn retracts her flowery vines like, ew.
You were too bad of a cop.
Miranda's
Yeah,
still got like the needle stuck in her. She's like,
I'm gonna take that needle back.
okay.
Maybe be careful with that.
You pretty much emptied out the thing when you stuck him with it. So, but there are other
But
liquids.
there are other,
Yep.
yeah, there are other poisons. I'm going to go get one and see if I can put it into the syringe that I got.
Yeah, you can basically draw it up through the needle of the syringe or pour it in through the top. You see that the syringe canister is large enough to hold several different kinds of the poisons. You can pour one
I'm going to
in.
combine them all,
All right, you just start.
Except for my jug. The jug's mine.
Yeah,
except for the jug.
you
but
hoard the jug.
I'm making the ultra poison.
All right, you start mixing poisons. Make another nature check just to see what sort of potent cocktail you come up with.
19.
Okay, you think
I like
you've-
these dice.
Yeah, you think you've come up with a particularly nice virulent combination, so you're pretty happy with that. A little bit of scorpion venom, a little bit of other good stuff. Yeah.
I look at at Simon, and I'm like, you be nice. I know you like poisons. You
I would like to give a search on the slain yuantee for anything of note.
Okay. He carries a brass key, which, based on your pickings of the lock, suggests it opens the door that you opened.
I take it anyway.
And that's all that he has on him. Everything else of value is in the room itself, the poisons and the jug. So.
All right.
may your soul pass into the light and be blessed and renewed by the light of the morning, Lord, from the darkness whence you came.
Yeah, Evelyn, I don't think that soul thing's going to work out for him.
The corpse twitches again.
After that blessing, I'm like, yeah, bitch.
No, Paul, we got him. We got him.
It's like, you sure?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
She blesses him again real quick. Just bless.
Nice.
All right. Is there anything else within the room that is worth checking out?
I'm
I mean,
still
there's
digging around on this jug,
yeah.
and I don't know what it is.
it's a stopper jug, so you don't know
So-
what's in it. It doesn't. There's nothing sloshing around in it, so.
Can I just open it and see?
Yeah, you absolutely can. And when you do, you release a billowing cloud of green gas.
No!
God damn it!
And now,
Look how happy Chris is. Look how happy you made
now,
him.
No.
yeah.
Strix was just curious. It looked fun.
Like a feral cat.
Okay, I would like all of you to make a Constitution saving throw
Poison?
versus poison.
But Evelyn
Well,
can't
one
be
of you-
poisoned.
Right, so you are immune, and so is
Diaz is
Simon.
protected from poison.
And
I get-
Diaz has
I
They gave him a
advantage.
protection against poison.
Yeah, Diaz has
Now-
advantage on a save.
So now this is also, we're all within Evelyn's aura, would you say yes?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank God.
So
So-
+5 for everybody.
+5.
By the light of the morning, Lord.
That would be a 17 for me.
Okay.
I like to
21.
imagine that in this
Okay.
case she sees the green gas go off and she immediately goes woof, like an aura of like light goes out from her to like hit everybody real
Yeah.
quick as they make their saves.
Yeah.
I got a 19.
Okay. Miranda.
13.
Okay.
Do you add a +5 to yours?
Yep.
Okay.
I
Did
will-
those nuts that we ate that were protection from poison, did those
are
wear
worn
off?
off. Those are worn
Okay.
off, yeah. I will make a check for Dragon Bait. And I will make, let's see, who else is in the area? Probably, oh, and there's probably some veggie pygmies here with Miranda.
Oh no.
Okay,
Sweet
Miranda,
potato.
your 4 veggie pygmies who are caught in the cloud all pass out,
Oh, no.
but nobody else is affected.
Okay, I'm scooping up my passed out kids.
Yeah.
Strix is just gonna start like waving to push it back down really
It's-
hard.
You've kind of let it all out. It just sort of all sort of bursts out. It's like it was pressurized, so it just sort of erupted, and then you couldn't control it. It's just spewing out for about 3 seconds, and then when you realize you have to put the plug back in, it's already empty.
And everyone's staring at her. She's just
Yes.
like, whoops.
Now, did that seem like a one-time?
Yes, it appears
Okay.
to be now emptied. It was obviously left here for the sole purpose of killing you.
Got it. All right.
But the gas is now beginning to kind of settle in the room, and you don't think it's going to have any long-term effects, except Miranda's got 4 unconscious veggie pygmies who seem to be in some sort of soporific state, a deep magical slumber.
Time to leave.
Yep. I would like to go and check the other side, the other possible exit out of this
Yeah,
room.
you sort of make your way over there, and you kind of have to slip past the zombies who are just sort of wandering around.
Yeah, I'm just like not interfering with them.
Yeah.
No one touched them.
They occasionally sort of bump into tables and walls and things and kind of redirect themselves, but are pretty directionless right now.
Okay.
And close examination of them, you can see that they've got marks in them suggest that they have been injected with multiple kinds of poison. Probably an attempt to develop a poison that can actually kill things that can't be killed by poison.
Ugh,
But
I'm not
anyway,
touching these.
you angle past them and you make your way up the hall. You can see in the light of Strix's lantern that the hall continues on for maybe 30 feet and then opens into what appears to be a larger chamber, also dark.
All right.
And based on the sound, the echoing of the sounds, it's significantly larger than the room you're in.
Okay.
But you don't hear any noises to suggest it's occupied, like you don't hear creatures or.
Okay. Not sectioned off door or anything. It's just like a open.
It's just
hallway.
it's literally an open hallway between the 2 chambers, and the hallway you measure to be about 45 feet long,
All right. Is everyone good to move on?
5 feet
or-
wide.
Yeah, I don't like being around these guys. They make me sad.
Are there any extra bottles of possible poison coating left around on these benches?
There are so many kinds of poison here. You're pretty sure you could find something like something to poison your weapons, a sticky poison.
Yeah. I would like 2, please.
All right. Yeah, you find two gourds that have a sticky poison on them, and basically they will add a d6 poison damage to your attacks.
Okay.
What about darts?
You don't see any darts. There are no weapons here of any kind.
Heck.
Okay, so with that, let's move on.
Okay. As you begin to make your way down the hall, what marching order are you going to go in? And Miranda, it is a little bit of a burden to carry 4 unconscious veggie in your
I'm not
arms.
leaving that behind.
I can carry him.
Sure.
Okay.
If someone else would like to help me carry these.
Yeah, so Evelyn, you can carry 2, and Miranda can carry 2.
They can
Awesome.
ride with the nice artistic egg thing in my backpack.
Yeah,
That's we're gonna call that the death machine for now.
Cool.
Maybe don't put them next to that.
The Obliterator 8000. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah. So each of the veggie pygmies, they tend to be much heavier wet. These ones aren't, so that's good. They weigh, about 35, 40 pounds each. But you carry them under your arms as you advance. Miranda, are you going to trailblaze? Or are you going to let DF pick up that slack?
If he's going to go first, I'm going to be at least right behind him.
Okay.
yeah.
So it's DF, then Miranda, then probably Strix with her lantern. And as you make your way down the hall, you can all see that both walls of the hallway have a sort of an undulating carving that starts with the tail and continues down the hall. The carving becoming thicker and thicker and thicker and more textured with scales until you finally get to the end of the hall where you see the mouths and heads of giant serpents that form the ends of these carvings. And based on the motifs and other designs surrounding these serpents, it's not a long leap for you to conclude that these are carvings of Dendar the Night Serpent.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, yeah.
So Evelyn, you become more uneasy
No.
until as you make your way along.
Ross,
It's like we summoned him.
You literally got home right when you said Dendar the Night Serpent, and now I'm
That's so bizarre.
Whoa.
spooked.
And
Tough summon.
you come to a positively enormous chamber with at least, several exits that you can see to your left and right. And the room is held up by giant snaky pillars. It is an underground cathedral. At the far end of the room is a sculptured balcony, perched atop 5 rearing stone serpents. Blood dribbles from the serpent's jaws and falls into a great semicircular basin underneath them, and from there flows along a sloped trough into a great stone bowl set into the floor. You are standing facing this bowl and the balcony behind it. To your left is a staircase going up, a ramp going up to a mezzanine, which has prominently situated atop it a gong. A very large gong suspended between stone posts.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
And
Banana.
the gong is carved with serpentine patterns and stands in front of a wide archway that leads off to the left. There is another exit that you can see, a set of double doors to the right.
No one's touching the gong.
Nope.
I already have an ice mallet in my hand. I'm like, oh.
You don't see anybody on the balcony. You don't see anybody by the gong. You don't see anybody by the double doors. In fact, you see nobody in this giant cathedral except
We're
you.
empty and undetected. Let's leave it that way for now.
That's the perfect time to do it.
We'll
Do
come
not
back.
yell. Stop yelling.
No,
And
no.
like
I'm
a
not
gesture,
yelling.
in a gesture of like defiance, Evelyn takes one flower and lays it like right in front of the bowl on the floor and just kind of like glares at the mural.
The bowl is about like 20 feet or 25 feet into the room, so you kind of have to walk toward it just out between the pillars is all, and to lay your flower down. But you can see when you look up, and there's just sort of the dim light of Strix's lantern cast on the ceiling, that the pillars rise up. The ceiling has sort of an arched, almost ribbed kind of design to it. You can see carvings of the great serpent Dendar protruding from the walls and devouring the sun.
Do not like.
Whatever you can tell us about that, Evelyn, have at it. While she's doing that thing, I'll go over to the double doors and start scoping those out, checking for traps, locks, see what's on the other side.
So you start to spill into the room and search around. Yeah. Paulton is fixated on the gong.
I'm gonna go try and like look at the blood and just gonna be like, what's this? Like I'll like try and see what.
Yeah, see if it's blood or like.
Yeah.
Can I make a religion check?
You can. You can both look. Both you and Strix can gaze down into the blood.
I'll be right back.
You can make a Arcana check if you want.
Can I ask the ring if it thinks I should hit the gong?
The ring doesn't care.
It's not a no.
Oh my god. That's a 25.
Okay, what did you roll?
19.
19. Miranda, what are you doing as the Waffle Crew spills into the room to investigate the double doors, the bloody basin, and the gong?
I'd like to find a way up to the balcony, if there's a room back there behind the balcony.
Yeah, that's an interesting conundrum. As you make your way toward it, you can see there doesn't appear to be any obvious way up to the balcony except maybe by flight. Certainly climbing the serpent's heads and necks that support the balcony seems awkward. That would not be any easier than just sort of flying or levitating up there. There does seem to be some sort of alcove at the back of the balcony. You're kind of wondering, it's not clear how anybody would get up there.
Can I very quietly go invisible?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
All right.
Evelyn like looks and he's gone. She's like, I hate it when you do that.
Evelyn, what did you roll on your religion check?
19.
Okay. Both you and Strix can tell that the blood that's dribbling out of the mouths of the serpents must originate from some other place. It's being fed through them into this bowl. And this bowl, which is about 20 feet in diameter and quite shallow, contains a fairly large amount of it, suggesting that whatever has been bloodletted, it wasn't probably just one creature, but several. Some of the blood is old and coagulated, and the stuff coming out is fairly fresh, but it's a disgusting, rancid effluvia.
It sounds like barf. Evelyn would retch. Ew.
All right. And at this point, Dieth, you get over to the doors. You can see that there are no locks on the doors that you can see, but embedded in the stone are triangular plates at about head height, sort of equilateral triangles on each one, and they're made of some sort of blue metal.
Huh.
And Miranda, as you approach, you can see as you fix on the balcony 20 feet above that alcove at the back of it has what you think is dim light emanating from it. But you can't see what's creating the light because you're too low.
Can I step back far enough that I can see any of the floor and then use hidden paths to get up there?
Yes. So suddenly, the rest of you notice Miranda is up on the balcony, and what she has seen is this alcove has set into its floor a disc with some glowing glyphs on it.
Oh.
Which suggests maybe that's how they get up here.
Glyphs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a pad that you can stand, like a stone pad that you can stand on. And those glyphs are giving off light.
Is there anything else up on this balcony in the alcove?
No, but it does afford a primo view of the rest of the cathedral. And as you turn to sort of gaze out with your dark vision, seeing the only light source being that of Strix in the middle of the room, looking down at the blood, it is only then that you see dozens of snakes pouring out through holes in the walls all around the room. And I'd like everybody to roll initiative, please.
No, I was gonna make my way to the gong.
Oh, you're at the gong.
I'm at the gong.
You're at the gong.
Am I alerted? Am I alerted of the snakes before?
Nope.
Snakes.
Oh,
No, we
Snake
don't
alert.
need more snakes.
So
more snakes. We
Strix,
have
what
too
was
many.
Strix? What was your initiative?
11.
Dieth,
Oh God, 7.
Evelyn,
I rolled a natural 20, so 21.
Nice.
Paulton.
8.
Okay.
Ooh, I mean 22 is my initiative.
Miranda.
15.
Okay. Miranda, you're not surprised. I'd like everybody else in the room to make perception checks.
Ooh, 19.
Okay.
Oh. 29.
Very
I
good.
got a 10.
Okay.
11.
Okay. Paulton and Strix are oblivious to the snakes pouring into the room. But Dieth and Evelyn, you are not.
Great.
And neither is Miranda. And actually, I need to check for Dragon Bait. He, too, does not appear to be surprised, and he stayed toward the back of the room. He's got the baby Triceratops and the ice Triceratops near him, and Waffles looming large behind him. I'm assuming, unless you decide otherwise, Paulton, that Simon will always stay a couple paces away from you. But actually, you're invisible, so he has no idea where you are. So he's kind of standing in the middle of the room, head turning around, waiting to see if you appear. As the snakes appear, Evelyn, what do? You count. It must be about 30 of them. All around the room.
I am
Everywhere.
literally standing like this at the gong.
Everywhere you look.
So I feel that probably my weapon in hand might not be the most effective way for me to deal with this. So Evelyn, Evelyn just centers on the snakes that she perceives as closest to her friends and just goes and casts Moonbeam.
All right, a brilliant moonbeam shines down. The closest ones to your friends are probably next to Dieth. He's the one closest physically to some of the snakes.
So she does it like right off his shoulder, like all of a sudden just right off Dieth's shoulder.
All right, so when the moonbeam appears, let me just refresh myself with this spell.
I can read it.
Yep.
A silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. Until the spell ends, a dim light fills the cylinder. When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it is engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain, and it must make a Constitution saving throw. It takes 2d10 radiant damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful save.
Okay, so you deal damage to them. They have to make some saving throws right away. You're going to get 2 of them right away. One of them succeeded and one of them failed at its save. So give me damage.
2d10. I was thinking it was 6. Nice. That one gets 15.
All right, and half for the other one. All right,
And
so they start to bake in the radiance of the moonbeam spell next to you, Dieth. These 2 serpents. They are both still alive, suggesting to you they are more than just ordinary snakes.
Ah, crap.
And then Dragon Bait will draw his sword and immediately go after the nearest one to him and try to cut it in half. And he is going to hit twice and wound that snake as well. But it is still alive, miraculously. After he goes, Miranda, that disc in the alcove flashes brightly, and a creature appears on it. You see, it basically kind of looks like that.
That guy.
Good.
A half-man, half-serpentine creature wrapped in bandages, clutching a sword, a long sword that ignites in his hand, just like Evelyn's.
How dare!
And he immediately comes out, sees you on his royal balcony, and says, "Your companions are my prisoners. Surrender or I will have them executed." To
He says this to me?
To Miranda
Oh, to Miranda.
on the balcony.
How do I know you won't kill them even if I do surrender?
You don't. But trust me. It's all you have. And that's where we'll stop.
He said the thing.
Oh, that's so sad.
Rachel, will you be able to join us next week, maybe?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. All right.
Maybe don't trust an actual snake.
Chris, chat reminded me that I only read my spell card and not the full spell in the book, and it turns out that shape changers are at
reverted.
disadvantage against.
Oh, so they
Moonbeam.
are. And these
Yeah.
guys are shape changers.
And
Look
they
at that.
revert to their original form.
They do.
If they fail.
Yes, so they both failed, which means they are
Moonbeam
both
is bad.
exposed as yuantee. Dia,
What? They're snake people.
when they appear
No
before
way.
you, one is male, one is female. They look human, but their flesh is covered with scales, and where their arms should be are snakes.
Cool.
Jeez.
God.
And they
That's
hate,
too many snakes.
they hate the light.
Good. I'll
All
show
right.
it to him.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well,
next week is going to be really, really cool.
We can hear the
Relatively
crew
speaking.
laugh.
Yeah, we can't hear everyone else in the room laugh.
Okay. So yeah, tune in next week for episode 78 when the Waffle Crew confronts all of the yuantee.
Oh,
All of them.
all of them.
So we had like the sneaky path or fight them all path.
That's right. Welcome to the Fight 'em All path.
Oh
Whoops.
God!
We'll see how this
Look,
plays out next week.
I'm just in the mood.
Should have just rang the gong.
You pretty
Isn't
much
there still
did.
time?
Yeah.
Everyone's here.
If you if the
Just in the middle of tense negotiations. just fall.
if actually I love the idea of after everybody has sort of joined in battle, the gong just sounds.
Just for fun.
Because who knows what it does? It could be a magic gong. It could
That's
be.
true. Maybe it tells them all that it's dinner somewhere
That's
else
right.
in the place.
Yes.
We'll find out.
All right. Does anybody have any announcements they'd like to make to the Waffle fam before we bail for the week?
This is not D&D related, if you don't mind. I'm producing a show called Stream On. It's for Twitch streamers who want to take their stream to the next level in a cool game show. And the audition deadline was extended to tonight at midnight. So if you want to check that out, go to link.twitch.tv/submit and you can check out the details of that. I hope you will enjoy.
Yay!
Yep.
And also, Power Score is doing their after show.
Yeah.
That's right. So they're doing like a Dice Camera Action after show on their Twitch channel. I'm not sure what the Twitch channel is, but we can link it in
I
chat.
would imagine twitch.tv/PowerScore RPG.
I think that's what it is.
I'd
Excellent.
imagine that.
But that's
All right.
really
So
exciting.
excited.
So they
That
can
is
talk
exciting.
about all the horrific mistakes that we made.
Yes. Let's see. If you didn't get a chance to go to PAX South or see the Acquisitions Inc. live game there, you can watch it on the PAX Twitch channel. It will also be available on YouTube in the coming weeks, so be mindful of that. Some stuff may have happened.
It was a good show.
Yeah, but one of the loose ends of the show was what happened to the baby dinosaur. Well, now we know.
Now we know.
Oh, right.
It's another pet.
It's ours now. Take that, Jim.
So
It's Dragon Baits.
my usual announcements. I'll be at KatsuCon in February on the East Coast. Not there in any official capacity or doing panels or anything, but I'll be there wandering around. I heard that there is a D&D cosplay meetup on Friday. If I can make it to that, I'll try for that. So if you happen to be there and you're trying to find me, that's a good place to start. Otherwise, I'll just be wandering around. In addition to all our Canadian watchers, I'll be at EGLX in Canada come this March, which is in Toronto, March 9th through 11th. I'll be there along with the rest of Normal Boots and Hidden Block. So I'll be there in Canada. And as always, we got that Dice Camera Action subreddit. Be sure to go on over there and join the community with all kinds of different fan art, fan fictions, theories, just general discussion about the show. A lot of people sharing off lots of music lately, which has been really cool.
The fan art and the fan fiction's been really good recently. That's been so much art. It's crazy.
Yep.
You guys are so talented.
So be sure to head on over to that. We lurk there all the time and we see everything. You can also join the Dice Camera Action Discord, which can also be seen. Get a link to that from the subreddit link. So be sure to check that out and join the community and spam that link.
Nate, Rachel, anything going on?
Not me.
Want to share?
I got nothing.
Okay.
My show, Girl Scouts Glory, is coming back in March. We don't have a date yet. It'll be there eventually. Yeah.
Outstanding.
That's
Can't
about
wait.
it.
Can't wait. All right. Then until next week, y'all, have some snaky dreams.
Oh my gosh.
I made it to a second episode, you guys.
You did.
Good job.
Yes. Yes.
I know,
And,
impressive.
For how long?
yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Tune in to see what happens when Paulton rings the gong.
Please.
Yes.
Please, Paulton, come on.
Something-
No, it's I'm already there.
Something will happen.
Oh, no.
All right.
Oh, God.
Until then, thank you, folks, and we'll see you next week. And all the best to y'all. Bye. Bye.